diseases can be acute or chronic based on the duration. Duration means what? If the disease is lasting for very small amount of time, then it is acute, small duration. If the disease is lasting for a large time period, then it is a chronic disease. So, acute disease lasts for very small amount of time. You yourself think of some examples. Common cough and cold, stomach ache resulting from heavy eating. These all will come under acute disease which lasts for small duration of time. But when it is chronic disease, it lasts for a large time period. That is, the symptoms, that is, the reasons for being uncomfortable last for a huge period of time. Say elephantiasis. I think you know this name, elephantiasis. This disease, elephantiasis, lasts for a large period of time. The leg or the hand grows large like that of an elephant's leg or hand, and for the entire life period till the person is not dying, this disease will be totally screwing up the life of that person. So diseases can be two types: acute, which lasts for a small period of time having severe symptoms, and chronic, which lasts for a large period of time. You yourself now tell me that which diseases are harmful or heinous for our body. Definitely your answer will be chronic disease, because of acute disease, when it's over, the symptoms are also over. There is no manifestation of symptom after you cover up the acute disease, but you shall never be able to cover up the chronic disease because it is a lifetime disease. So the next topic is chronic diseases and poor health. Chronic diseases and poor health. Definitely, I don't think there is a huge explanation to be required for this purpose. Diseases which are chronic, that is, those diseases which last for a large period of time, definitely will result into poor health. How so it will result in poor health? Because for a huge time period, that disease is scavenging your body like anything. Say for example, tuberculosis. It occurs in the lungs by the implication of a bacteria. This disease will cause you cough, and also blood will come out through the mucus of your body. Now in this tuberculosis disease, you shall definitely come into the conclusion that it lasts for a large period of time. If it lasts for a large period of time, you cannot go to school, you cannot play, you cannot study, you cannot be able to sit properly even, because you're always having uncomfortable feeling. So chronic diseases result in poor health. Chronic diseases are not at all welcomed by anyone, because chronic diseases create problem for the entire lifespan. But acute disease, say common cough and cold, say stomach ache due to heavy eating, say headache due to sleeplessness, these diseases will only last for few days or to few weeks. Viral fever, this will last for majorly 3 to 7 days. So after 7 days, you will be totally fit and fine. But for elephantiasis, even after 7 years, you may have the disease. So period of lasting is much more, you are being more affected, and definitely you shall result into a poor health for a huge period of time. So be careful not to be affected by chronic disease, and definitely the presence of the disease will not let you say that I am healthy. This is a disease condition and totally a condition of poor health. Am I clear? Now, after we have completed the concept of disease, we shall take into account the causes of disease. Yes, what actually causes a body to be suffering from any type of disease as such? There can be many causes, but the first and foremost cause for a body to be affected of a disease is some agents. Agents or microorganisms that are present in our atmosphere or in our surrounding can cause us to be suffering from diseases. Say there are 3 or 4 categories as such for the agents. The categories are bacteria, fungi, virus, and protozoans. These 4 category of animals present in our surrounding causes us diseases: bacteria, fungi, virus and protozoans. After them, the most important point is these agents will cause us disease. Now we shall learn some of the constitutory reasons. First constitutory reason, which is written in the second point, that is lack of food and nourishment. Say balanced diet consisting of protein, vitamins, minerals, fat, carbohydrates are required for our body. We all know that. Now if any of this factor is missing in our food, then definitely we cannot call it as balanced diet. And absence of balanced diet will cause lack of nourishment. These food acts as a barrier to the agents. If these agents are not stopped by the food energy we are gaining, they will definitely proliferate and definitely cause diseases in more action. So after agent, this is lack of food and nourishment which aids to the process of causing our body to be diseased. The third point, as you can see, is poverty and poor household. Definitely there is lack of food and nourishment. It is because you don't have money. As I told you, in opportunity to work, you need good food. Good food needs money. If there is no money, there is poverty, then definitely you cannot have good food. So one of the reason for disease is poverty and poor household. That is, one reason can be non-availability of good food, but that is a very meager reason, because rarely we can find any place that there is no good food. We do not be able to afford good food because we are poor. Understand? The fourth point is genetic consequence. This is a very important point. Some of the diseases are caused due to genetic variations, that is at gene level. Inside our nucleus we have chromosomes. Chromosomes contain gene. While your mother and father gene transfer was being done to your body, there was some alteration, and that alteration caused the gene to work in negative way, and that also aids these agents. Means genetic problem adding to the agent's proliferation. And the last point is lack of social welfare. This one also we have developed, that community surrounding is very mattered for a disease or healthy environment. So if the society where you are staying is bad, there is clogging of drain, there is garbage lying here and there is no proper smell coming out from the surrounding you are staying, you are sure to affect some diseases. So what is it? This last 4 adds to this first point, that is the agents. This last 4 adds to this first point, that is the agents. So agents with the main one. Say for example, let us take example that a boy of 12 years is suffering from, say, virus disease or viral disease, which is a very heinous type of viral disease, say Kala Azar. Okay, he is suffering from fever. So it is because of the agent virus. Now why the virus is being able to proliferate itself? Because he is having lack of food. Why he is having lack of food? Because there is poverty and poor household. Maybe added to that, the boy has some genetic problem. So along with that, the genetic problem will add up, and also with fever there will be some other symptoms as well. And how this virus came up? Because there was a very dirty surrounding around him, and so there was this is a way I wanted to relate all the 5 points. Maybe all the 5 points are not responsible for a single disease, 2, 3 and 1, 3, 4 and 1, 5, 2 and 1, but one will be aided by this rest of the 4. So this is all about the causes of diseases. Next we shall go for the type of disease on the basis of the agents. I hope you all remember that we have just discussed 2 types of diseases on the duration of its staying in our body. It can be acute disease if it stays for a smaller period of time, or it can be chronic disease if it stays for a larger period of time. Now, it can be infectious disease if it is caused due to some infectious agents, or it can be a non-infectious disease if it is caused by inherent problems. So what we said is, so in case of acute and chronic disease, let us recap. Acute disease lasted for shorter time, Chronic disease lasted for longer time. Loss of weight, lack of breathing, loss of appetite. These were all the symptoms associated with chronic disease, and the disease lasted for long. Now again we can divide disease into two categories on the basis of presence or absence of agents. Just in the causes we discussed in the first point that agents of disease cause diseases like bacteria, fungus, virus or protozoans. These are the four classes of agent. So those diseases which are caused by agents are called infectious disease. These are agents caused. And those diseases which are not caused by agents but due to some problems in our genetic constitution or due to problems in our organs or due to non-collaboration of the organ system, we get this type of disease. Say heart disease, cardiovascular disease. These diseases are caused when arteries and veins do not function well, heart do not pump blood properly, there is a hole in the artery or vein or any of the chamber of heart. So these are all coming under heart or cardiovascular disease. High BP, that is blood pressure. Blood pressure is high. This is totally a problem that is limited to your body. It is not caused by any of the agents. These diseases are the result of some problems in your organ. Next you have diabetes. Diabetes is caused when the hormone insulin is secreted less from pancreas. So this is a disease which is caused due to hormonal problem. Say a boy is having some feminine character, that is also a disease. That disease is caused due to the lack of release of male hormone. So these diseases are limited to your body and no agent is causing the disease. Talking about which disease is most dangerous, definitely these infectious diseases are more dangerous. Why? Because infectious diseases are caused by agents, and if say this is a diseased person and this is a healthy person, an agent who is biting or taking any fluid from this diseased person and again biting this healthy person will also suffer from the disease. So you can say infectious diseases are communicable. What you can say? Infectious diseases are communicable. But a person suffering from diabetes cannot transmit the disease to another person by means of any agent. These can be transferred from a parent to offspring through genetic direction, because diabetes is one of the genetic disease as well, but they are not communicable. That is, a healthy person is not affected from the affected person by means of any agents. There is no involvement of agents. So these diseases are restricted to any individual, but these diseases can be communicated from this individual to that individual with the breach of that agent. Now there is a box in your science textbook about peptic ulcers. I am just describing peptic ulcers in a very small bit. Say this is the stomach. This is the stomach of our body. Okay. Now peptic ulcer means inflammation. Say in this wall of the stomach there is an inflammation, and this inflammation releases blood. So there is internal bleeding. So peptic ulcer was long thought to be the reason of wrong lifestyle. What was it? Reason of wrong lifestyle. Those persons who used to consume alcohol, or those persons who used to smoke, or those persons who rely upon fast food were considered to be the easiest victim of peptic ulcer. Unless two pioneers in the field of biology, Marshall and Warren. Okay, what was their name? Marshall and Warren. These two scientists found that actually peptic ulcer is an infectious disease. So when I am talking about infectious disease, there must be some infectious agent. They found some curved bacteria in the patient's stomach who was suffering from peptic ulcer, and that bacteria was named as Helicobacter pylori. Helicobacter pylori. The structure was somewhat like this. Okay, so these bacteria, Helicobacter pylori, caused peptic ulcers. And if the Helicobacter pylori is removed from the stomach of the patients, then it was found that the persons behaved well. The person became healthy. So contribution of these two scientists fetched them a Nobel Prize and also led to giving correct information about the disease, that it is not a disease which is caused due to wrong lifestyle or having alcohol or smoke. It was due to the presence of this Helicobacter pylori. Definitely this bacteria came through food only, but the causal agent is a Helicobacter pylori, which is a totally infectious agent, and this is an infectious disease. So this chronic disease, peptic ulcer, whose any treatment was not found and the people used to suffer a lot, became an acute disease when this bacteria was removed and the person became healthy.